Good evening, our viewers, and welcome to another episode of your daily show achievements. I'm your host, Abdulatif Lanizi, and with me, my co-host, Fatma Al-Hajri. Good evening, Fatma.
Good evening, Abdul Latif, and good evening, dear viewers. This is your show, Achievements. Of course, we talk about different topics every time with different guests, so stay tuned after this report.
A successful identity is built on things a person has done. Your most important accomplishments are a very important way for you to measure your success. Colleagues, competitors, and the general public can look at a person's achievements to figure out how successful they are. Most of the time, putting in a lot of work pays off. Most people think a successful life is one of a lot of things to be proud of. When you finish a task, you win over problems or other people. Achieve means to work together to reach a hard and challenging goal. Everyone should be ready to help out and work together if they need to. There are many ways to reach your goal, but in the end, it's up to you to decide how it will pay out in your life. In their careers, some people want to get rich and will be well known. Some people think that even small victories are reasons to have a party. We're all different, so we all have our own thoughts on everything. In the end, though, everyone wants to be happy, and everything you do in life will help you to get closer to that ultimate goal.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. Tonight, we're having with us a special guest. He raised the bar to a higher level when it comes to the newest ways to repair a windshield. Of course, he followed the safety measures in the side, and he also went to the United Kingdom to learn more about that. And tonight we're having with us our guest to learn more about his journey and how he started his own business in that side. Of course, we welcome with you Mr. Hussein Al-Gharib. Welcome, Hussein.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Hussein, and thank you for being here with us at
Thank
the
you
show.
for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course, we are so glad to have you.
It's a pleasure.
But first, we would love to know about your early steps on this field of your business and how did you start?
It started off passion. I've always had a passion for cars since I was young, and I've also always liked to work with my hands. And I've always been into. If you always came by my house, you'd see me in the hood since I got a driving license. I've always been into cars, so it started as a passion for cars and vehicles. So that was my start off, and after that, it progressed. So that
You
was
wanted to be different, right?
Yes, and
That's why you chose wind.
Why I went to windscreen. The story starts because I liked my car. Everybody likes their own car, and I remember once when I first got the car, I was driving home, and on the way home, I got a windscreen chip on my windscreen. And then as I was driving, I remembered that I have to get repaired. If you don't get repaired, the crack was going to it'll grow, and then you need to replace the whole windscreen. So I knew I had to drive back and go to some industrial area to get it repaired, and that will take 3-4 hours. And I had to do that, and I did do that, and it took the whole day. And then I said, wouldn't it be so easy that somebody would repair it for you? And that's when I got the idea. Early stages.
I think that's very impressive because sometimes, what you need can actually help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because this is like the missing thing, what we all require, but no one actually initiated on that thought. So I think this is an important step that you took and created this business. So do you think that your home background affected you in any way?
I'm an engineer now, so I've always been, I think, passionate about working with my hands, and I think that gave me the encouragement, or let's say that I could pursue it my own, So that's what got me started and got the idea. I think that's what I think. It goes back to the background that I've always worked with my own hands and done things myself. So I think that's the reason why.
So that was really nice. But we would love to know more about why did you get into that business, knowing that it's not that successful, especially here in Kuwait?
Really honest, when I first started because, as I said, I had a passion to the cars, and when I had my own car, I wanted to replace the windscreen because I had a couple of chips on it, and you have to do it every, basically you need to get it replaced. what happened was I knew if you get it replaced, the market at the time didn't have anybody that would replace it just as good as new, especially if you had a classic car or a vehicle that you really liked and had a couple of years on it and you didn't have the parts. You need to take it to any standard replacement, autoglass replacement store. And taking it to there, you knew that if you get it replaced, the time I didn't know the details about it, but I knew that if I get it replaced, I was gonna hear the wind and the quality wouldn't be the same. And
to be bad.
Yeah, I knew that would become, and it did, and I got it changed. And then when I got it replaced, it wasn't that great. The quality and the replacement was really bad. And I thought it was normal, you know? So after a while, I studied in the UK. And when I was studying in the UK, I came past an autoglass shop, and this was the start of it. And I asked them, can I take a replacement, a repair? They told me you have to understand. I said, I've got time. The Christmas holidays are long. I could do the training there, and I did. So I took lessons with them, just to replace.
You took license?
I took lessons with them, yeah.
For repairing the windshield?
Just repairing, to repair the chips and that.
How was it?
It was fun.
I think it's nice to actually try
It
something
is.
new, and
Something
you like that, like you want to know how to fix this kind of issue.
Yeah.
And to actually do that, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, so I started that, and I started repairs, and then I got my own kit, and then I came to Kuwait after I finished. I graduated, and I started repairing my car, my mom's car, my dad's car, and then I went to my friend's car. And then
the neighbors.
And then everybody kept calling me, telling me, Hussein, yalla, ta'al, we need you to get repaired the car. I've got a chip, you need to repair it. And that was my first repair I did in Kuwait. I repaired my friend's car. He told me, come. And I was doubtful, I remember, because I was like, okay, this is the first time to do it. My friend's car,
But was it for free? Was it for free to fix your
Yeah, it was free. They were taking advantage.
Nah, if I were you, I'd take money from them, because this is taking my time.
Yeah, so, but I was enjoying it. I honestly was enjoying it. I was enjoying it.
He was looking for the opportunity to fix
believe
the
it or not,
windshield.
I would see somebody's windscreen as soon as they came, and I said, you want it repaired? I can do it get it repaired. And I do it, and it would be like, we talk about, oh, really, it's a good job. And then that's when I told I had my friend, a really close friend to me, told me, why don't you open that up? Why don't we open up? Why don't we do that? I said, yeah, we could. I've thought about it. It's just the first steps.
It's hard a little bit.
Yeah, the first steps, it's not hard. It's getting the mindset, the mindset and where to start. And we thought we can do it, and that we did. And that was my.
So this is like the first step where you turned it into a business.
Yes.
That's
when I started.
I think, did your friend, do you think he encouraged you into turning it into a business?
He
like
did.
it didn't cross your mind to actually take that kind of
It did
idea?
cross my mind, the start, it did cross my mind, but you need a push, a little push. And he gave me that
you
push.
got it from him.
Yeah, maybe he was a bit
good.
hesitant about it.
And then I talked to my family. My mother was a big support as well. She told me, you can do it, you can keep going, and I think you'll be good at it, and I was like, okay, because it's the time management as well. To have a business is a lot of time management. And then when you started off, you had a low budget. So I used to do the repairs, and he used to do the counting. So we started off like that, and then I started training. I had a helper to start helping me out, and that's how we went. We kept going.
It's really good. So is it like that? This is your workshop, right?
This is my workshop. This is our second branch, and
you have a second branch.
Yeah, we have two branches. The first branch I opened.
Successful then.
Yeah, the first branch I opened. First thing we started delivery. Our first car was delivery, and then from there we grew, and then we had our first branch. And then when I had my first branch, I faced difficulty because I had two helpers and one of them had to leave. So I had a lot of pressure. And at that time, I think I started the first branch, it was 2013. 2014, we had a heavy rain, if you remember.
Yes.
And there was a lot of chips. People had a lot of chips. So this is when a lot of customers started knowing me, and I was Kuwaiti, and
it worked great for you.
Yeah, it worked good.
Yeah, since that Kuwaiti person is doing
that,
right?
people start.
Yes, of
and
course.
honestly, I must say, I did get support, a lot of support from friends and family, and the people. People were encouraging me because they saw me work in my own hands, and that's when one of my staff had to go, and it rained when I was there, so we had a lot of pressure.
You had a high demand.
I had to do it myself, so I started in the morning until night I was fixing glass.
But I think it was
That
an
was really
exciting
good.
period of time
Yes.
to remember that. I'm
And now
sure
I'm-
that's
yeah.
like a fond memory for you.
Yeah, when I think about it now, I look back and I think about it. It was difficult, but it was a goal I had. I wanted it to grow, and I had a vision that I would grow bigger, and I think we're getting there.
Of course, I think especially that you opened your second branch, I think you're already heading towards success and you're already successful. And this is why we're having you here with us, to inspire others
Yes.
to achieve their goals and hopefully have great ideas as well.
Yes, exactly.
So, of course, there's secret. Why did you become successful?
The honest truth, yes, there is a secret, I believe, and I believe the secret it wasn't about the money, believe it or not. I know people say I used to cover the rent, I used to cover my staff's salaries. The rest wasn't about money. I wasn't greedy, I didn't try to take advantage, and I think that's what people felt. When people feel you're passionate about it and you're trying to change the mentality, because I introduced the replacements after that. I did the replacements as well. I used to replace
For the whole windshield.
the whole windshield. And this is one of the things I learned. Sometimes you take it for granted. You think it's something small, but when you look at it, it has a big role, more than you can imagine. A windscreen plays a big role in the car. Most of the sensors,
The radar also.
radar, everything is there. The
It's
rain
connected to
sensors,
it.
they're connected to the windscreen, and it plays a big role. Even the products, the connection, a lot of stores use like silicone and so on, and we don't recommend that. And if you look at it internationally, it's not recommended. It's not a product used to attach windscreens. I don't want to go into the actual detail, but you're creating safety. Every part of the car plays a big role, and that's what I believe.
So what type of tools do you use exactly when it comes to repairing the windshield?
You brought tools from the United Kingdom, United States. So I use the tools that are supposed to be used not to damage also the car. So if every car has its own tools to replace, and we're training our staff on every single part of that tool. We're trying to take up the
I think that's interesting that every car has a different tool, especially like for the windshield. I didn't know that. I thought like every windshield is kind of similar in a way, even for repairing.
No, the repairings are the same, they're standardized, but the replacements, because
Yes.
each one has its own brackets,
Of course.
each one has its own specifications. So each way of replacing the car without damaging the actual car, replacing the windscreen without damaging the car, has its own tool and has its own way. So you need to learn that different brackets and different ways. In every model that comes out, you have to recognize yourself with that
It must
model.
have been hard to keep up with all of
Must be.
that.
It's actually new for me that every car is different for how to place
Yeah.
it and also the tools.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that actually.
if you notice, if you look at a car windscreen, you believe it or not, there's every single model is different. Even the same car sometimes has a different the same car, but there's different.
I thought it's
models.
only the size and the shape. I didn't know that.
No,
it's
even the
actually
brackets. The brackets are different. The moldings are different. The shape, the actual connections are completely different. So it plays a big role. There's a big difference in each car, believe it or not. And that's what I had to develop on. And that's one of the obstacles I learned. I had to learn each car. And sometimes I was overwhelmed, by the way, because when I got into it, I didn't expect it to be like, I expected the same as you, that we could get through it. And then we started getting different models and different cars, and then features, and then with technologies coming into it. Oh my God, it's a big industry. And then, but we're good. We're getting on there.
It can be, I think, sometimes stressful learning all these new windshields and stuff like that. But to have that kind of support, especially from your staff, your partner, your family, is
Yes.
just
Important,
so
right?
important.
Yeah,
And we still have a lot more questions for you, but we will take a short break, dear viewers, and we'll be right back.
حسين الغريب Hussein al-Gharib practices his hobby of fixing and maintaining cars. He repairs car windows using a manual method. Then, he began to repair and install cars at the comfort of his own home. Hussein al-Gharib is the first person ever that was able to present this idea in Kuwait. Hussein is also eager to import the latest equipment and materials in this field. He has also traveled and studied his hobby. Moreover, he later on managed to take many courses in this field that supported him. He learned different concepts of repairing car brakes, pads, and replacing them. He has also learned the safety rules and regulations of the cars in order for the car to be 100% safe for the rider. Hussein makes sure all of the car pieces he gets from abroad are high quality. All of the glass pieces he uses meet agency standards. He also showed how the car glasses differ from each other. Nowadays, with all the technology we have, car glasses has also improved. One of the car glasses that Hussein can apply is the head-up display. It has many features and helps the rider to have a safe drive. He also assured us that this type of glass needs to be fixed under professional workers and under specific standards. Moreover, Hussein demonstrated the steps of removing the glass safely from the car while keeping the body and drums of the car away from scratches, and handyman has to be qualified and professional. Second, the equipment used. Third, the glass used has to be matching to the original car specifications. He has also assured that by using the best products, you will be able to see the best results. Moreover, Hussein takes very good care of the cars and makes sure that there's no scratches on the body or the drum of the car. Moreover, Hussein has enjoyed learning about cars and studying it. He has been able to meet with different car representatives from all over the world. He focuses on how to improve himself in his hobby. He fixes cars out of passion and love. We are very proud of you, Hussein, and the things you have done. This is certainly something to be proud of and honored.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We're back with our guest Hussein. Of course, so Hussein, what have you learned from your journeys to the UK? You went so much. You went frequently every time. You're learning something new about products, about windshields. So can you share this kind of experience with us?
Yeah, the most thing I've learned from my trips is don't take things for granted. The smallest things play the biggest role sometimes. So that's one of the most things I've learned in my trips, and the experience as well of dealing with other companies and seeing other companies how they're performing and how that we can learn from. So we've learned a lot from them, and hopefully in the future as well we can as well collaborate together with, and that's what we're doing right now. We're collaborating a lot of companies together with them, so that's what we're working on.
I think that's
Which is
important
really
to take some tips from other companies, compare products, learn more about it. I think this is an important step to do with other companies, especially in the same field.
Yes.
That we also need here in Kuwait.
Yeah, but we're good. We have a lot of good. We have a good people
We
are
have
now
good, but not that good, seriously, because we've been facing a lot of troubles here, especially that because you know that while you are driving on the road, you many times discover that your windshield that you just installed and equipped at your vehicle, it becomes a little bit loose, and you can hear the air sound, you know. But unfortunately, and you already fixed that, right?
Yeah, we fixed that because the reason why that is happening is, of course, number one is the unqualified personnel that are working on people's vehicles. The second thing is the products, their products. That's one of the things I was trying to, like a lot of people, I'm trying to make them aware of, is the quality, not just the product itself of attachment. There's another part of it, and that's the quality of the windscreens and the actual small details, like the products you use to actually attach the windscreens.
Yeah,
itself.
the double wind shield, and there is actually
usually they're all
they're
always double, but you have like coatings on glasses. For example, I don't know if you've noticed, sometimes you change the windscreen and you notice there's a difference even in the actual light, your eyes, and that's because there are different filters on the glass, there are coatings on the glass, and these have to be spared to standard. And that's one thing I've been trying to work on regarding the standards that are around, and whatever is imported from other countries that we import, because we usually import glass from a lot of countries.
That's really wonderful, the things that you are doing.
So we are trying to bring the highest standard and bring the standard to Kuwait, yes.
Yeah, and thank you for that. But of course, the things that you are doing, it takes a lot of your energy and your time.
Yes.
So how do you manage between your career, your job, the agency that you have, and also your family?
Yeah. Well, it's time management.
Yeah.
When we first started, everything was a mess. Your time, your day, everything was a mess. But as you get along, I think when it starts, a business is rocky at the start, and you need to give a lot of effort. Any business that starts from start, it's rocky, and then as you go through, it starts settling down, and then you start fixing it again, a rhythm, and then after you get a rhythm, you start spreading out. I have also a business partner with me in Fasting, so he's been working with me in the actual company, and we spread our. So I have a part I have to complete. He has a part he has to complete, and that way, we spread our time equally, and we try our best to do that.
So how big is your staff right now?
We started only me and him. Now we're about 25.
25 members on your
Yeah,
staff.
25.
Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
you have
That's
a whole
a really
fleet.
good number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it helps with the time and also with the
Yeah.
clients. You can manage a lot of number of clients throughout the
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Also, the money is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, it's a successful business.
Yeah.
He created a solution for a problem, and I think this is an amazing thing to do.
We need it, seriously. But of course, since you about the quality, I mean, you have 25 members on your staff, but there's the quality that we need. And we need that actually here in Kuwait. So can you tell us, what did you brought to the consumer from UK to here?
I brought the quality, I brought the standards, I brought the safety as well, I believe. And the way I've done that is I keep that standard going, and I believe I do that by working. I don't see myself as like a boss, or I see myself as a response. I see myself as a part of a big group. And being a part of that group, and I work with them. Until this day, I work with my staff. And sometimes you find me in the workshop working, and my staff know me. They got used to me. I come in, I work with them, and that keeps that quality standard. And that's why I'm trying my best to keep that standard that I've trained and I've learned from there to bring it here in that way. And if I see slack in the standard, then I fix it. And that's the only way I believe I can keep that up.
That was special.
Of course, I think it takes a lot of commitments, a lot of hours. You have to watch out for all the small details, and I think this is the important point here. Is any change in the quality or anything like that, you really need to pay attention to the standards, because sometimes you get good at it and sometimes you slack off.
Yes.
For employees, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens
so to keep them
sometimes.
back in check when it comes to the standards is very important.
Exactly.
So from the economic side, how do you think that your business helped the government in a positive way, of course?
The government did help me. I got funds from the national funds. They helped me. They helped small projects to stand on their feet, and I applied for that, and I got help. That's one of the things that helped us to launch from a small business and then to a bigger business. We got funds for that, and it did help us. So the government have helped us, and in return, we try our best to employ as much as we can, and also train as much as we can, and give as much as we can back. End results, a Kuwaiti company. It's a founded Kuwaiti company, and we're targeting to actually launch outside Kuwait, because we have a lot of requirements in the Gulf as well, believe it or not. Because the way the replacements are happening, you can see it in other countries as well around the Gulf. And our services are required, so our next steps are to go out, and in that way we're presenting Kuwait, because we are a Kuwaiti company at the end of the day. And in that way, we're trying our best to give as much as we can back. And also, we're trying our best as well to get a lot of government contracts as well, and to give that standard on cars. Lately, we've signed this contract with the Minister of Health for their ambulances, and we've been doing that with the safety measures and so on. So it's good. We're working
that's
hard.
very impressive. We're very
perfect.
proud of you, of
Yeah,
course,
thank you.
and for your achievements.
We are.
And you are giving back so much from what you learned from your experience and everything. And I think sometimes this kind of achievements usually happens when you have a good support system.
Yeah.
So do you think that your family and your friends really helped you to achieve this?
Yes, I do. I believe I've had a lot of support, I must say. I've had support from my family and from my friends, and my family have been behind me, supporting me and pushing. Sometimes I've had down days, I've had days that are up, but they've been behind me. You can do it, you can get through it, and you know, especially the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, most of the garages closed for a while, and
Yes.
that was a really difficult time for us.
Yeah, it was for a lot of companies, Kuwaiti companies, that small businesses.
Yes.
Especially ones that just started.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were there, but we got through it. We worked through it. We got through it, and it was a difficult time. But thank God we got through it, and that was the time we needed support. We did. We got that. So
And you had the support, which is really important. And,
Mhm.
and mashallah, right now you are planning to go outside Kuwait, which is more
And to
perfect.
even like tell them more about the standards and the quality of how to pick the right windshields for different kinds of cars to actually be there. Do you think like, have you ever like thought that you'll be in that position one day?
to be outside Kuwait, yes, it's one of our goals. It's my goal. I believe you progress by putting goals in each step of your life. So my first goal was to initiate that step, and then the next step was into Kuwait and hopefully outside. And I'm planning to do that. And we're going now. We're planning to do that. And we are We join a lot of. There's a lot of like expeditions outside in Dubai and so on, and we go there, and we're always there to show our quality standard down there.
And of course, that's more perfect, makes it, since you have the experience from outside. But getting back to the support of the family, you have that person on your life that supported you emotionally, that keeps pushing you forward all the way, even during the pandemic and right now and the start of your business. So until now, who's that person?
To push the company, well, there's a lot of people, I must say. In the company wise, my business partner has pushed us a lot, I must say. Yeah, there's a lot of credit goes to him. He's tried he's worked really a lot with me. We've tried a lot of, sometimes we have ideas, we go on and then we fall and then we go back. A lot of it goes to him in business wise. Personally wise, it goes to my mother. My mother was a big support. And then after I got married, my wife's been also support for me. She's behind me and helping me with the business as well. I got her on board as well. So
That's nice to have her a part of your team.
Yeah,
she has to be a part of it. So she's a part of it.
Yeah, that makes it really good. But of course, there's that person who keeps you forward and made you feel good during, especially that time during the pandemic, when you felt almost that you are surrendering. Because I know a lot of people that I know personally had their own businesses and they closed it, shut down. But you kept going through.
Yeah, we kept.
So who's that person behind that, except Hussein?
Well, it would go back to, as I said, it goes back to if I'm going back to personally, it will go to my family that pushed me. All of them, they were behind me. And my friends, by the way, my friends kept me going. Sometimes we've had difficulty, they've told us, you have to keep going, you have to push. And they were there, especially when we opened again, they were happy for us and so on. So I must say, it's a big family and everybody's a part of it. For a business to be success, it's not just me, honestly. It's a lot of people behind me.
That's a blessing.
I think a lot of people usually say this, like for a business or for even sports or any type of activity. I think usually they have a specific team that's behind the success, behind pushing them and encouraging them. Also, I think themselves, they put a lot of effort to it. But to actually have this kind of team around you, just like our show, of course, it's not just us, like Abdulatif and me. It's a whole team. We have the camera crew, the producers, the voice control, the camera crew, the lighting. We have a lot of members in the team.
If there's someone missing, everything will go off. Everything will be turned to be bad. But getting back to you, is Hussein doing everything on his hand still, or is he just a businessman?
No, I'm still on my hands. I don't see myself, honest truth, believe it or not, I see myself as a project, but I tell my staff that this is not just me, it's everybody. As you said, you can't do one thing. It's not one man job. It's a teamwork, and the same comes with the company. It's a teamwork. It's not one guy. So to keep that quality part, I'm holding a certain role, but there's a big role with my business partners and the staff. Even the staff, when they see me with them, they have a passion to the company to succeed as well. So it's a group work. For it to succeed, you need everybody to feel the same passion.
Of course.
And if you come to the workshop, and you're more than welcome to come, you'll see it, you'll feel it with the staff. You'll feel it there. It's a
You
family.
can sense the vibe when
Yeah,
you
you
go
can
there.
sense it. If
Of
you come to the
course.
store, you'll feel that. You'll feel that. You won't feel there's an owner. You'll feel that all owners. Everybody is a part of this company.
I will definitely try to come to your agency because seriously, the things that you are trying to explain and you explained it, it's really wonderful.
You're more than welcome to come.
It is.
So, do you think you have achieved all your goals yet?
No, I believe I've only started. So I believe you go on, you put a new target, and then you accomplish it, and then you put a new one, and then you accomplish it, and you put a new one. So I believe that's the start.
Of course, and it was really a pleasure to have you here with us. We learned so much from you, and we're very proud of what you achieved.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to have you here
It's a
with
pleasure
us.
having me as well. Thank you for having me.
It is. But do you have anything else to say? One last thing before we end?
Honestly, I would like to say, when a lot of my friends ask me, how did you, like, one of the goals, like, how did you put, what would you give, like, one, as you said, one, let's say,
Try to reach.
yeah, what did you,
Yes.
what would you give, like, what's the word I'm looking for, is like to reach your target, to reach your goal. And the one thing I would say is put a goal, set a goal, and then the secret would be, when you set that goal, is not to really talk a lot about that goal. Is
Just try to do it.
exactly.
Never stop.
And keep it in you, and then eventually the energy you have for that goal, you put it towards that goal, and then you eventually accomplish it. One of the things I notice a lot of my friends have, they have amazing ideas. And I see the ideas, like they've told me a couple of years before, and I see it now. And he tells me that was my idea. But because he's talked about it so much,
It doesn't become like
it
what he
doesn't
wanted.
become action, because he's talked about it so
Yeah.
much. So subconsciously he feels that he's accomplished it, but he hasn't.
That was really wonderful. Hussein,
That's an
and thank you.
amazing tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having
But
me.
unfortunately, we are ended. Inshallah, we will see you at the next time. And with that, our dear viewers, we became at the end of our episode. Hope you like it and enjoyed it. And we will see you at the next episodes. And goodbye.
Goodbye.